We're live.
G'day. What is up, everybody?
Thank you for hosting me on FBA today. I guess it's tonight over there.
Dude, you should have named Tactical Arbitrage FBA Good Day. Is it too late?
I've missed a trick. That's never too late. Damn. It'll destroy all my search engine optimization and everything like that. But for the sake of that one pun, we absolutely.
I think it's worth it. Yeah, I think at that point you just have to bite the bullet and rebrand.
So if anybody does decide that they want to try Tactical Arbitrage again, if you're a former member and you're looking to get back in, make sure when you check out you use the coupon code ER10. That's going to give you a 10-day trial using Tactical Arbitrage to get you started, so you can dabble in this new feature and see if it works well for you. But I'm super pumped about this new feature. It's not going to be a really long webinar, so you haven't got to put aside multiple hours and miss some cool episodes of Rick and Morty or anything like that. It's probably going to be all wrapped up in about half an hour, because today we're going to try just focusing on one feature, fielding a few questions if you've got any, and then bidding you adieu and letting you get on with it. So there's 49 people in here so far. Feel free to shout out some things in the comments so we know you're alive, and give us a good day.
Yeah, let's get some good days going. And if you guys want a more comprehensive webinar, Alex and Chris Grant and myself, we did a webinar last week. Was it last week? Or was it Monday?
Yes, yeah, it was last week, and it covers a lot of the new features. That is currently pinned to the top of Tactical Arbitrage.
Sweet.
A Tactical Arbitrage Facebook group, I should say.
Nice, yeah. So that was a great webinar as far as there's a lot of webinars on YouTube still, and that one's the most up to date. And Alex really did a good job of summarizing everything. And it was still, there's so many features, and to cover them all, it still took about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I believe. But you guys, if you want a complete overview, if you're brand new, or if you just want to make sure you're not missing anything, check that out. It is on the Tactical Arbitrage wall. And if somebody could link to the Tactical Arbitrage group in the comments, that would be sweet too. Chris Grant, if you're watching, that would be cool. What is the synth in the background? I think that, and I don't think it's going to play it, but I'm open for that. If you want to make this. If you want to make this 35 minutes and play 5 minutes of synth solos, we can do that.
As long as you like 5 minutes of badly played chopsticks, I can knock that stuff out all day, baby. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you, Sky, for posting the group.
I enjoyed that beginners webinar that we did last week, and I liked what we summarized product search, and we summarized the settings quite well, to the point that I'm actually slicing that webinar up and using that for some of my bite-sized videos on product search and my bite-sized videos on settings, so that I can quickly get those out while more comprehensive videos are being made. But we got a lot of people saying g'day here. We got some howdies, some I'm alives.
Oh yeah, howdy apparently is the Western version of g'day.
Howdy, Greg. How you doing, mate?
Most of us don't say howdy, but I think we should. I think we should bring that back.
We got a request for Purple Rain. I think that's going to be a little out of my league. So
that's the best. That's a great song, though. I don't know what Emily did with my purple lights. Those were pretty popular for a while. Remember when I would cut the lights and it would just be this like purple hue? I loved that. It was like epic. And people asked me like, "Are you a Prince fan?" I was like, "I am a Prince fan. This is a coincidence, though."
Dan Wentworth has reminded me that it's 20 minutes to the Pats kickoff, and he obviously does not want to miss that based on our rambling nonsense. So I get that. Who are the Pats against today, by the way?
I don't even know, dude. The only reason I saw that they're playing is, and this is embarrassing because I'm a huge football guy, is because somebody said, "Oh, the Red Sox lost. It sucks to be a Boston fan because the Patriots are about to lose as well." So I'm pretty sure. I doubt they're going to lose. Let me see. Let me look. Go ahead and carry on with the webinar. I'm going to look into this. And Gronkowski's out, so they probably are going to lose. Tampa Bay. Nah, they'll beat Tampa Bay.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Well, based on that, and I don't want anyone to miss their football, I'm going to jump into the new feature. So today we are going to be explaining the new Easy Bulk feature, which we've been shedding some sweat over and creating in the back rooms. And I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's probably be best if I share the screen at this point. Now my screen, I got a new monitor and it's like 4K. So if you know what that means, it's got so many pixels and the screen's like this wide. And I don't really know if everything's going to be too hard to see. So I'm going to like probably zoom into the screen to try and make it better. So let me know if you want me to do that. And maybe if you could shout out, Nate, if you can see in the comments if people are having trouble reading my screen.
Yeah, I'll try to keep an eye on that. I know that unfortunately some people have bandwidth issues and it ends up affecting if they can see it or not. So hopefully if you guys can't see it and we can't make it better for you, it might be a bandwidth issue, and we will make sure that the replay is, no matter what, the replay is going to be out ASAP. And this feature is pretty straightforward. So it's exciting, but it's pretty straightforward. So I'm excited for Alex to get going. And if you guys can't see it, just let me know.
So that screen should hopefully be nice and easy for you to see. And if you can actually maximize, like if you're watching this on Facebook, you should be able to maximize this video so this takes up a lot more of the screen. And if you can see this okay, just give us a shout out so Nate can see that. But I have sort of zoomed in a little bit there to try and cover the main area that we need to see, which is up here, this product search section. So this Easy Bulk feature, now as you can see, there's nothing on the right-hand side here. This is what you'll see when you very first load up a product search page. And I'm going to identify a couple of minor changes that have taken place already. So first of all, the bulk, the import bulk category list used to sort of be up here next to the website. I decided in the reshuffle that really it's, at the end of the day, it's kind of website, the category you want to scan, the start and the end page, and that's just one way you can run a scan. So I kind of separated the bulk type lists down below that. So now the two styles of bulk lists are down here at the bottom. There's import bulk category list. Now, import bulk category list is what you should already know and be familiar with, which is simply a matter of importing your own previously created bulk CSV, which can contain up to 500 rows of categories, and it can be either a single domain that you're scanning or multi-domain, depending on how you've configured your bulk sheet. And there's probably no real reason to touch on that today because bulk lists are well and truly already covered in many videos. And the new feature is here, the Use Easy Bulk sheet. So what will happen is you can see here it says bulk category selected, 0 of 500. So at the moment, we're still working with the model of up to 500 row bulk lists. So there's nothing particularly changed there. And I have had people ask me if I can increase that. We recently increased it from 400 to 500 rows of categories that you can search, which will keep a search running for a considerable amount of time. I've been asked a little bit if I can push that out to 1,000, and we may look at doing that. But for the most part, you can have 500 rows of categories in either of these two styles of bulk list. So as you can see here, you've got Use Easy Bulk Current or Use Easy Bulk a previously saved one. Now, how do we save one? So let me start by just selecting a website. How about we select Target? Target's always good for an example. Let's select Target.
Target's the same as Target, you guys. Target.com. Everybody can see you fine, it seems like, too, Alex. Every couple people said they're good. Somebody says ultra-wide screen, eh? Can see fine.
I have to refresh my screen because It just, oh, okay, so it's logged out, that's why.
Did you pay your bill?
Oh, a difficult math question, 20 plus 2.
20 plus 2. All right, let's do this together. 20 plus 2. All right. 202. Easy.
Sorry, folks, for the false start there.
It's good. We had a couple of people that were waiting to join. A couple of people weren't in the group, and were waiting to be added anyway. So hopefully this makes them.
All right, I'm gonna like zoom in again. Okay, so let me go down to target again, and now target's going to change. So whatever I select here in the website is going to change the categories that are available to select to build a bulk list over on the side here. So it might even be worthwhile for me to actually put a little flag over here that it's currently using target.com when I've selected target. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that we've changed it over here. It's changed it over here, but it might also be good to have a little notifier over here. So that's something simple that I can add in the next day just to make that a tiny bit clearer. So we selected target, and before I get into here, you'll notice in the category example section still fully exists, but it used to be that there was a little section here on the coupons as well, so you could access Retail Me Not and get a direct link to Retail Me Not just to see whether or not there was any coupons there. I just moved that because it's just a little, it's not visible straight away anymore. I just moved that little icon. Now it goes next to source price adjustments. So if I click this this little coupon symbol here, it'll open up a Retail Me Not page for Target. If I've got Target selected here, it'll actually change what this links to down here. And actually, considering this is where you're going to put in your store coupon, your discount, your site-wide discount perhaps, or category discount that you're running for that category, this is a better place to have that coupon symbol anyway. So I'm going to go back to Easy Bulk. Now, if there is less than 500 categories, this is a little internal administrative thing, and one of the reasons why it's good to come to these webinars. If there is less than 500 rows worth of data in the entire store, like some stores, every single category unfolded and placed in a massive spreadsheet, it might only be 300 rows, and that's the whole store. If that is the case, then this first level will give you the option to just select all. So I'll see if I can find one. We'll just go 1,000 bulbs maybe. No, we'll go one sale. Okay, see how this one, the level one now says all. So if I select add to bulk, that's going to add every category that's in that store. And to be honest, one sale never really has that many. So I'm going to clear that now. It'll give me the option, it'll give me the fail safe. Are you sure you want to clear this? And it's going to clear that, it's going to reset it. It's going to go away. I'm going to go back to Target, where there's obviously a lot more than 500 categories. And now, this is the beauty of this Easy Bulk setup. You don't just have to add one row. So I might want to add all of the beauty stuff. Or I might just want to add beauty and bath and body and bath soap and just add that one category. But I might just say, no, I really want to scan every single beauty category in Target right now. So I click the first row here just for beauty. It'll add everything beneath it, which is 63 categories. Now, it also checks to make sure it doesn't add the same row twice. And there's a good reason for that. It's that sometimes categories will overlap within hierarchies of menus within stores. So if you've got, so hopefully that makes sense without too much explanation. But if the same URL appears twice anywhere, it'll make sure it removes that and just gives you all unique URLs there. Now, Currently, this system uses the smart start page, last page model. Now, we may be looking at enhancing this to include the last page data. For the most part, we haven't had a bug report on the smart start page, last page model for some time. I asked my guy the other day, he said he hadn't had a bug report on start page, last page for a month. Now, what that means is that if I just leave start page and last page blank when I'm doing a normal scan, it'll automatically assume page 1 for the start page. And so that is that has never been a problem, because it automatically assumes page 1, so that is always going to be fine. The last page is where we sometimes have the bugs. Is what it will do is it'll look for no more products. It'll keep scanning till it sees no more products if you leave it blank, and then skip to the next row. So it currently uses the smart version where it basically just leaves these 2 blank, and it creates the bulk list that way. Now, I should interject at this point that these categories have been provided by a relationship that I've built with a domain called Tactical Bucket. And it must be kind of kismet, because the abbreviation for Tactical Arbitrage is TA and the abbreviation for Tactical Bucket is TB. So TA loves TB, because we were building this feature, and initially we reached out and said, does anybody want to contribute some bulk lists to these features? And I was kind of like, I know this is going to hurt your business model if we put this out there, because some of you sell bulk lists, etc. And the outpouring of contributions from many people, including Sean Mayo and Nick Perry, I can't name them all, Nick Perry, Matt Colvin, Jeremy, there's lots and lots of people who've contributed these bulk lists. But Javier San Juan came along and said, well, look, I've got this Tactical Bucket where we've got a lot of bulk lists in the system. And he said, what we could do is plug in a lot of this data as a donation to Tactical Arbitrage, and populate this feature that you're creating with this plugged in API type cobbled together scenario relationship, if that all makes sense. So I was like, oh, well, that's really super generous of you, Javier. And it's probably not Javier, it's Javier, I believe his name. Javier. And super nice guy, super generous. So I put a link in here to Tactical Bucket. I suggest you check it out. And I've got to say, a nice little side effect is that Tactical Bucket also has a subscription model to provide you with advanced user XPath sites, which means it basically means a la carte, add your own sites to Tactical Arbitrage. So we have hundreds. We've got 596 sites as of today in Tactical Arbitrage. But Javier, again, has another couple of hundred of XPath sites that he has personally created as plug-inable. Now, he knows the drill. I never look at those sites, and my guys just add what they add over time. We never try to avoid adding certain sites, but we never look at other people's sites and try and add those. And so there's been not a lot of overlap. And in general, that's what I do with the XPath model in general. But the thing is, if you go to Tactical Bucket and join one of his subscriptions, and you end up getting some XPath sites to plug into Tactical Arbitrage, the Easy Bulk feature will also appear for those sites when you unlock them within Tactical Arbitrage. So this is a super nice little relationship that I've got there. This kind of also helps him, because if people go and I actually recommend people do get some of these additional XPath sites, because they're super unsaturated and really exclusive. You can plug those into Tactical Arbitrage. It'll unlock the site in here, and the bulk list will appear as well. So you can start running those bulk scans really quickly. So that's a really nice feature.
I think that's important. Nikki had asked, she said, will this make Tactical Bucket redundant? And it's good that you touched on that, because absolutely not. This does not make Tactical Bucket redundant. It makes it actually more valuable.
Definitely. This is a 1 + 1 = 3 scenario where he has assisted my model, selflessly, mind you, but as this is before we even knew that this would evolve in this way, he's offered this to us, And then as we built it, it became apparent that this would start to unlock the additional data for the people who are part of his subscription model. And so it was kind of like, this is amazing for you too. Now it's really, really useful for people to also get a subscription to some of the excellent sites that you've got over at Tactical Bucket and have this work for them over here. So this is definitely a 1 + 1 = 3 scenario. And like I said, he's also a really nice guy, and so he's easy to talk to. And you know, he did say to me that sometimes this data can be incorrect, but very rarely, because having that API access, he's going to continually update the data. When a website changes their categories like they do, sometimes their developers go a bit rogue and start restructuring things. That'll sometimes restructure the way that categories work, and therefore needs updating in here. So Yavi is also going to come in with his Tactical Bucket team and update this data on a regular basis, which is really cool.
Hey, Alex, a couple of people have mentioned that the font is too small for them to see. Do you think that we should zoom in, or should we just?
I can zoom in a little bit more. How's that?
Maybe zoom into the new part, I guess, is what is important for tonight. We're looking tonight's show is all about this new Easy Bulk feature. So yeah,
that's probably getting to the limits of how I can set it up.
Yeah, that looks good to me. I think if you guys are watching it on mobile, this is just not really a good fit to watch on mobile, just given how wide the screen is anyway. So I apologize, but if you are on mobile, you might need to wait till you get back to a desktop. The features are right there in Tactical Arbitrage. They're not going anywhere. If you are a TA user, you have access to this right now, right, Alex? It's not slowly being released to certain people, right? It's everybody.
It's released wide.
Yeah, so everybody has access, and you don't have to do anything to activate it. But Tactical Bucket users, how do they go about expanding it, Alex, like you had mentioned?
They don't have to do anything as long as they've already been. Because I mean, you're only going to go and subscribe to Tactical Bucket if you want some of these. He's got actually quite a few little features inside Tactical Bucket, so it's not just XPath sites that you get with a subscription to Tactical Bucket. But if you ever go and get a subscription there, you will have immediately put your sites into the advanced user page, because that's the whole point of getting those sites. So that'll automatically unlock this stuff, so they don't have to do anything more than they've already done. So Tactical Bucket users will already be seeing this data inside their this extra data for the extra sites that they've added to Tactical Arbitrage. Already see this Easy Bulk functioning for those sites for them. So that's good. That's cool to know.
Yep.
It's domains for Tactical Arbitrage are kind of like Pokemon. You've got to kind of catch them all. So it's a good way to get a few extra.
That reference is a year late.
Yeah, I've still got a mate who is massive into it, and he likes to sit down with me and talk about Pokemon Go. Sorry if I got it wrong. Go Pokemon. Yeah, look how old I am. I don't even know.
That was the thing here for a while. For about a hot week, it was like all they talked about.
That's it. So let me continue with this. What I've done is I have got a current list there. It's unsaved, okay? So I haven't saved this. I can go away from it, right, and go to one of my other lists. I can come back to it. It is still sitting there. It is this unsaved little collection that I started to build. And I might think to myself, look, I want to run Target Beauty kind of often. I don't want to have to build it every time. Not that it's hard to build, mind you. It's actually pretty darn simple. But let's say you've got a more complicated one. This is the next button you want, Save Edit. Let's click on it. Click on that. That's going to show me everything I've just put in there. So I can now say, I can now edit this. My guys did a great job in this. I'm kind of proud of this. So you can shift click multiples that you don't want, and you can delete those ones. You can go through, delete them row by row. And this untitled list, you can name it and save it. So let's going to go in here, and we're going to call this Target Beauty. And we're going to save that bad boy. There's 3 ways to save it, actually. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't missed. You can either hit enter, you can click this little tick mark here, or you can re-click the blue box. So it says list was saved successfully. Now, you can also download this CSV, and of course you can re-import that CSV into your normal import bulk category lists. You can delete the list, and you've also got down the bottom here this list manager button. Now this list manager button opens up another page, and on here you've got the ability to edit any of these lists, to start using the lists, like basically put this back into the selected list on product search, to download the list, or to completely remove that list. Like you no longer need this, like I no longer need this test list because it was a test list. I can now delete that one and it's gone. So this is a little bulk list manager for the Easy Bulk, and it should really be called Easy Bulk List Manager because at this point you can't, it's still to this moment you can't import other bulk lists and add them to Bulk List Manager. However, that is a conversation that I'm currently having so that people can start saving bulk lists that they've got, that they use, that they've got from other, that they've created prior to now. So at the moment, this should really say Easy Bulk List Manager, but at some point it'll probably populate with other bulk lists as well. I won't discuss a non-release feature though today. Just know that we're always working on stuff. So this other one, TA test with 160 rows. So from here, I can just pop back into that. I can do other things in here. I can rename this from TA test to Sun and Ski because it was a Sun and Ski list. And I can save it over here. Sun and Ski was renamed successfully. And I can close out of here. And then I can go and select Sun and Ski or Target Beauty. And it'll still have the bulk category selected sitting there to run. Now, over and above that, it is as simple as just setting your filters as you normally would and running a scan. So let me go back to current. Because we saved it as something else, current is now being reset to 0 again. But you may not ever want to even really save a list. You might just want to quickly check something. So you can, let's go to Walmart. And we'll just duck down to, they might have a sale today on baking goods, and so you just want to add that to bulk. It's just one category. Set some filters, hit submit, start your scan. So life is now a lot easier. Now traditionally, as you will be aware, and new users will have maybe struggled with this, and I know some users in the past have actually left because they were unable to work this out. But traditionally what you would do is go to Walmart, find one of these URLs that fits a certain model. In this case, you would look for the pattern of walmart.com/browse/category, and then with a number on the end, and then you would take that number from the URL over on the Walmart page, and you would bring it back in here. And if I deactivate Easy Bulk, I can go back and type in here again, and you would put that. You would put that into there, and then you would run your scan. So it's actually not an overly difficult process to understand, and most people do get it fairly quickly. But for others, it was a little too labor-intensive to actually get to the scanning, or it was a little too difficult to comprehend for various reasons. And the fact that every site has their own certain style, and that you kind of had to spend a few extra minutes like working out how that style worked, did make a difference to how fast people could get to the scans. Now, that's not to say that Easy Bulk's going to have covered every single permutation. Sometimes a website will have a particular clearance sale and they'll be creating a link for that on the day. So you'll definitely still need to keep abreast of how to operate category examples, and that's why we will never remove this section here. It is always going to be accessible by tabbing across. If a particular sale URL comes up and it is not something you can easily select from Easy Bulk, then you can certainly go through and pick that URL the traditional way, bring it on here to category, run a scan like you normally would. But for those who are looking to just run some scans on a site of certain categories, This is now a nice, easy way. This is particularly useful for when sites have got coupons and store-wide discounts and that kind of thing. Then you can come on in here and say, all right, today on Vitamin Life, I really want to scan amino acids because they've got a fantastic deal on amino acids today. I'm going to add that to a bulk. Oh, there's already something in there. I'm going to clear that one first. Now I'm going to add that to the bulk, which has got 30 categories. 30 categories of amino acids. Would you imagine? And then you can jump in and start running those scans. So this is a game changer. I'm very grateful to all who contributed towards getting this model up and running. It's not just Tactical Bucket and Avia's input, although it's certainly really sped up the release of this feature, because everybody donated lists to this, and all of the people who donated those lists, I laid them all out in front of me, and I was like, okay, now I have to create all of these lists in a particular format that will be read by this feature. And I started getting in touch with my developers, and I said, look, none of these are the same. This one's been put together this way. This one's been put together a different way. There's no exact cohesiveness between all of the lists from all of these people. And it was really good. It was really generous of those people to donate that, but we were struggling with how we were going to unfold it. We would have got there in the end, but Arby has said, mate, I can make this quick for you. I can make the entire Tactical Bucket range and add whatever's missing from his arsenal to his range and make it plug directly in. So anyway, we got there a lot faster. We got there in weeks instead of months. And like Nate said, it all evolved fairly quickly from there. So hopefully you find the Easy Bulk feature really easy to use and start scans from now on. I do recommend that if you come across any bugs, like let's say you're trying to run this categories amino acids in Vitamin Life, for some reason it seems to be scanning funny or getting stuck on a row, that will probably be to do with it not grabbing the last page, not seeing when to stop scanning because of our smart last page feature. Now, if we haven't had any reports on this since we've released this, but it's way too early to know. If we do get that more than a few times, I'll speak to Avia, who I believe has all the last page data, and I'll plug all that into our system as well, just to make that a little bit more precise. But so far, so good. There's always a backup plan if something begins to unravel. For the most part, I don't expect any problems, and if we do have any problems, it'll only be on certain domains in certain types of scans. So we can either solve those as we go, or we can remodel that with an extra column just to insert the last page on all of those items. So if you've got any questions, I'm going to return to Be Live now. Hopefully that's nice and clear to you. I didn't mean to speak for half an hour on that, but that's covered the entire feature. I don't believe there's anything being left on the table.
No, and that was a good wrap, Alex. 30 minutes. I think is plenty of time to devote to it tonight. And like we said, anybody wants to see more features, there's plenty more features. You can check out that other webinar. But this is really the reason why we did this impromptu show tonight, is because this feature, anybody who's used it in the past, even if you canceled or if you're somebody who's used bulk lists in the past and you felt overwhelmed, or you felt that even with everything going on, you still weren't getting enough. This, I don't know what else Alex could really put in the software that would make it any better than this. This is really, at this point.
I just want to answer a question that's on your screen there. Sorry to cut you off, but somebody said, can you mix and match in one bulk list? I'm happy to say the answer is yes. So we started a bulk list with some Vitamin Life products. I'm now going to add kitchen and dining from Target. You can see in the list there's some Vitamin Life and some Target. It totally treats that like a multi-bulk, so you can run that like a multi-bulk, and it's smart like that. It totally knows what to do. I gotta check with my guys if I can do some USA and some UK. I believe the answer is yes, as long as, because what it's going to work towards is the selling at. So if So you could probably pick some from the UK and pick. I believe that you can. I remember having that conversation with him while we were building it, whether you could mix countries, and we digressed to something else at the time. But I'm pretty sure the answer I got when we were trying to sort of make it so is that yes, it is possible as long as we're selling in one location, like selling it at your Amazon.com FBA store. So I'll have to go back through those chats and see what we actually put a firm decision on with that. But that's not going to affect very many people. Most are going to like run a USA scan to run on to sell at.com, or create a separate bulk list is probably smarter for your UK to sell at UK or UK to sell on .com. Rather than mix them up and potentially confuse anything, I would suggest that you simply just create a second easy bulk list. It's not hard to add more to this. And I've also told my guy to put that in alphabetical order because target should come before test one. So that's one little task for me, a very small, not super important task, but that should be alphabetical order. So yeah.
Richard wants to know if you mix and match, where does the discount come from? The list in settings?
If you mix and match, the discount will come from the set discounts in settings as per usual.
Cool.
So if you've set that to override, then that's what will happen.
Nice. Do we have any more questions related to the easy bulk feature tonight? Mark says he doesn't get it. Mark, go ahead and well, first I recommend you log in and check it out and just play with it, and then watch the webinar again if you missed from the beginning. Because I think Alex was pretty clear on what it does. So if you're wondering, try it out and then come back. I know for newer users, they might not even know how much of a headache bulk lists really were to begin with. So
if I'm scanning, like, so it's really simply, if I just hit toys, action figures, you'll see this in a couple of seconds. There's one category to scan, and if I hit submit, it'll start the search of that category. So it'll begin scanning that. So essentially what it's done is it helps you select what to scan a lot quicker rather than you going and selecting that from the website. So that's probably a quick summary. It is already working away, already adding products to view data. So that's
so if you have never used tactical arbitrage in the past, you might not realize why that's so cool. You might be spoiled. For anybody who's just starting to use tactical arbitrage is going to be excited, or won't really know what they have, I guess, because that is a huge upgrade. And the fact that it comes at no additional cost. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that the price of tactical arbitrage has not gone up since beta. And Alex has been pretty cool about adding features without ever even talking to me or anybody else that works with him about increasing the price. And that's awesome. I don't know how long that will last, so I do recommend that you jump on board if you are on the fence. Alex has promised to grandfather in people. That still holds true, right, Alex? For the current feature? Yeah,
there's literally only one thing stopping me from increasing the price, and that is I use a membership software, and the membership software has got a very convoluted method of adding tiers, and I would have used a different membership software on day 0. It is impossible for me to change the membership software on day 500. So the convoluted method is possible for me to do, but the tiers will come. And when the tiers come, the price will go up. But yes, in answer to your question, anybody who signs up prior to that price change will be grandfathered into that price for life. And you should also mention you've got a 10-day trial code if anyone uses a certain code. What's that code?
If you do decide to start a trial, use code ER10, and that will get you a 10-day extended trial, and that is linked to me, so I get a commission if you purchase from that, and that is cool. If not, no pressure. It comes at no additional cost to you. But yeah, so I recommend that you consider it. And if you're already a user, I recommend that you start playing with this ASAP. And if you have any questions, Anything you want to add or change? Alex is very responsive and receptive, as quickly as he can be, to all the additions and everything. And I know that having Javier San Juan in cahoots with the program in any way is a good thing, because he's a very great guy and he's very smart, and he's done a lot of awesome stuff with Tactical Bucket. And the fact that he's now overlapping some of his software into Tactical Arbitrage is good for everybody. And that should be exciting to you guys. And I'm sure that this is not going to be the end of awesome new features and integrations with Tactical Bucket and going forward into Q4 and beyond.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for your time. And I hope you enjoy the new feature. If you've got any additional questions outside of this, feel free to shoot us a support ticket at tacticalarbitrage@gmail.com. Julie and Chris and myself are as responsive as we can be. And if you see anything happen that's not happening as it should with new features, not just this, but any new features we ever add, shoot us messages to that, and we will get on top of things as soon as they appear. But for the most part, I really hope you enjoy it, and go and enjoy that Pat's dominating the Buccaneers, which I'm sure is going to happen.
Unless you're a Buccaneers fan, then. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alex, thank you for coming on, and thank you for coming in specifically into FBA Today and releasing this here first. That is awesome stuff, and we appreciate you as always. I know that FBA Today is always a huge fan of everything Tactical Arbitrage, and thank you for sharing this here first.
No problems at all.
You're the man. All right, guys. Let's have a good night.